Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaurango Gaura Hari Nitai Gaurango Rango Gaura Hari Jai Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jai Gurudev Jayo Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jayo Srila Gurudev Jayo Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jayo Srila Gurudev Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Gaur Hari Bol श्री हरिराम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्रीताय गौरांग भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 ओम नमो भगवते Sudevaya. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 10, Chapter 64, Text 26. Chapter entitled The Deliverance of King Riga. सा त्वं कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा सा त्वं कथं विभो परात् योगेश्वर श्रुतिदृशमला हृदय विभव्या स्वरे श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव्या साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे स्यन्मे अनुदृश्य इहा यस्या भवपवर्गा इहा यस्या भवपवर्गा सा त्वं कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा सा त्वं कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा योगेश्वर श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव्या ईश्वर श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे सन्मे अनुदृश्य इहा यस्या भवपवर्गा सा त्वं कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा योगेश्वर श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव्या ईश्वर श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव्या साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे सदा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे स्यन्मे अनुदृश्य इहा यस्या भवपवर्गा सा भवपवर्गा सत्वं कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा योगेश्वर साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे सन्मे अनुदृश्य वर्गा सा त्वं कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा योगेश्वरा श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव्या साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनान्द बुद्धे शान्मे अनुदृश्य इह यस्या भवप्रवर्गा स्यन्मे कथं मम विभो अक्षिपतः परात्मा योगेश्वरा श्रुतिदृशमाला हृदय विभव्या साक्षात् अधोक्षजा उरुव्यसनन्द बुद्धे शन्मे अनुदृश्य इहा यस्या भवपवर्गा Mataji, word to word meaning sa he tvam yourself katham how mam to me vibho O Almighty One akshipata visible paratma the supreme soul yoga of mystic yoga ishware by masters shruti of the scriptures drishya by the eye amala spotless hrit within their hearts vibhya to be meditated upon sakshat directly visible adhoksaja O transcendental Lord who cannot be seen by material senses uru severe Vyasan, by troubles, Andha, blinded, Buddhe, whose intelligence, Syat, it may be, me, for me, Anudrishya, to be perceived, Iha, in this world, Yasya, whose, Bhava, of material life, Apavarga, cessation. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada disciples ki Jai. Translation. O Almighty One, how is it that my eyes sees you here before me? You are the Supreme Soul, whom the greatest masters of mystic yoga can meditate upon within their pure hearts only by employing the spiritual eye of the Vedas. Then how, O Transcendental Lord, are you directly visible to me, since my intelligence has been blinded by the severe tribulations of material life? Only one who has finished his material entanglement in this world should be able to see you. Purport. Even in the body of a lizard, King Nriga could remember his previous life. And now that he had the opportunity to see the Lord, he could understand that he had received special mercy from the personality of Godhead. Let us say the prayers together. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् गणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितमाश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरविषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमार्थमने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यं जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I seek blessings at the lotus feet of all the devotees, especially His Grace Acharya Prabhu, so that I can speak something for the glorification of Shri Sri Nitai Gauranga and for my personal purification. Hare Krishna. So we have been going through this chapter of the deliverance of King Nriga. So, like devotees have been explaining the important lessons which we can learn from this, from the incident or the life of King Nriga. So, one of the lesson what we can learn is that what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that this world is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. That no matter how much we try our best to be happy in this world, to enjoy in this world, but ultimately the end result is suffering. Whatever we may do, the end result is suffering. So here we see that Nriga, the king, he became a lizard. So that is one suffering we can say. And the question may be raised is that because after becoming the lizard, he is going to the heavenly abode. And in the heaven, he is going to enjoy. But if we read Bhagvatam, so we find that in the scriptures it is mentioned that even in the heavenly abode, there is no happiness in a sense. The level of suffering may be different, like the person in a hellish planet may suffer differently more. Person may be in a earthly planet may suffer little less as compared to the hellish person living in the hellish planet. But even in the heaven also, suffering is there. Because there is always a fear that a person may fall down from the heavenly planet. And we have the example of Nal, Kuber and Manigriva. That although they were in the heavenly abode, but they committed the sin because they became too much proud and too much puffed up by their position. So they started behaving in a very indecent way and they were cursed. So that we know. And we also know that once Indra is the king of the heaven, so he was cursed. And what he was cursed? He was cursed to become a hog in this world. So he became a hog in this world. So although they were in the heaven, but still they fell down from the heaven and they had to suffer. And what to speak of that, suppose that some ruler comes like Hiranyakashipu. So when Hiranyakashipu came, so no one, although they were in the heavenly abode, no one was enjoying any heavenly pleasure. Because everyone was under Hiranyakashipu and they were just like a, we can say a servant or a slave of Hiranyakashipu. Because whatever Hiranyakashipu wanted, they had to follow his like directions, whatever the instruction he was giving. And we see that Indra is most of the time he is fearful. He is fearful of losing his power in the heavenly abode. So in heaven also there is suffering is there because fear is there, fear of losing whatever we are having in the heavenly abode. So similarly in this world also, like a person may be very rich, person may have all the power, all the name, all the fame, but is still in the back of the mind their fear is there. The fear is there, we may lose something. Like in this modern age, in this as the Kali Yuga is progressing, so some person may get a very good job in a very multinational company, very big company. So he may be going to a multinational company, but the fear is there at the back of the mind that any time they may be fired. There will be some recession will be there, a person will be lose job. So that fear is there. So they may not express it externally, like in our company and all. Most of the time, at least when the person comes, 2-3 people are gathered together, they will speak about that there could be a possibility that they will lose the job. The project will not work, this project is going to be, that particular application is going to be decommissioned. So everything is there. So all this thing is there. So fear is there on the back of the mind. So this discussion is always there. That at any moment we can lose the job. We may have to go through financial challenges, financial problem. So in the heavenly world also, the same problem is there. So we can say that heaven is like a first class jail, like third class jail, second class jail, first class jail is like a heavenly abode. Because there also the laws of material nature is going to work. And another thing we learn from this Nriga's life is that in this world, it is impossible to make others happy. No matter how best we try, it is impossible to make others happy. And we might have experienced so many times in our life also, that no matter how much good we try to others, we may try to do good to others, but our good may not be good for others. Person may start misunderstanding us, or sometimes a person may even question our intention. They may think that we may try to do something good to others, but the other person may think that we are trying to exploit that person, or we are trying to extract something from other person. Now here we see Nriga. So he was doing a very favor to the Brahmanas. He had like hundreds and thousands of cause he was donating. And just a mistake, and that mistake was not intentional mistake, unintentional mistake, which anyone can commit. It was not that he was intentionally doing anything. Just one cow moved from one Brahmana's herd to other Brahmanas. And this became both the Brahmanas very angry. And they started feeling that no, he has cheated us. And they became upset, they became angry. And because of that, we know that Nriga, so he had to suffer. He had to suffer for the sin, whatever he committed, unintentional sin. And he had to fall down. And he had to become a lizard. And in this world, from our life experience also, and if we see around also, so we see that, that we may try to do good to others, But while doing good to others, we may land into trouble. Like one very famous example is that, like if we are going on the road and we see that some person has met with an accident, and we try to help that person, we call the police that this person has met with an accident. So when the police comes, then what does he first do? He first starts suspecting us that maybe we may have committed this crime, we have done this accident, we have done this thing and that thing. And just to save ourselves, what we are trying to do, we are calling the police for the help. And the police may start seeing our mobile that do we have any connection with this person, have we done something, some mistake, have we done any blunder, have we committed a crime. And the police may also start seeing that is it that have we stolen something from that person, maybe that person was having something valuable, we might have stolen something, and we may be called to police station. And suppose that the person has died, then we will have to go to court also. The person will be, they will like a police complaint will be filed and we will have to go to court also. So although we may try to help, but we will land ourselves into trouble. So this is how this world is there, that we may try our best, but in spite of that, we may have to suffer. So there is one Shri Nityananda Gaurang Bhagwan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So one true incident had happened in one school. So it was a residential school, students were staying in the hostel. So early morning they had gone for, they had that sports activity, some physical training, other things were there. So when all they were performing this activity, so the news came that one boy in the hostel, so he has tried to commit suicide. He has hanged himself from the rope, from some, maybe it was like a mess or some other area. So the sports teacher, so the news went to him, so he was very physically fit. So immediately rushed to the hostel and he had some staircase or some objects and all, he climbed that and he just caught hold of the rope and brought the boy down when he was hanging. So as soon as the boy was brought down, so he was put there. So it was found that the boy has died. That was found. So the boy died, but that sports teacher, he tried his best to save the child. But when the parents came and when they came to know that how all this thing happened, the boy tried to hang himself. And then they came to know that the sports teacher, he just tried to save the boy by bringing him down. So they filed a police complaint against the teacher, that he somehow or the other, he mismanaged all the things. He held the rope in a very wrong way, that he actually he tightened this noose on the neck and the boy has died. So although he tried to save the life of the boy, but actually what has happened, that he has landed himself in trouble. And the police complained, and everyone was knowing, the students were knowing, the teachers were knowing, but the parents were convinced, no, this is because of this great mistake which this person has committed, that my child has actually died. So he was trying to help, but his help was actually not perceived in a very good way, and it was considered that this person is responsible for the death of my child. So this is how in this world it works. This is how this material world is, that no matter how nice we try to be, how nicely we try to live, we may try to do all the pious activity, all the good thing we try to do, but somehow or the other we have to suffer. So as Prabhupada explains in the scriptures, that the 4 types of sin we are aware, like Dvitam, Panam, Striya and Suna, that we do. That is, Dvitam is that we do this gambling, that is prohibited. And this Panam is that drinking alcohol, intoxication, that is prohibited. Then Striya, that is illicit relationship with women, is prohibited. So that is, we know. Then is the 4th one, that is Suna, that is Bhuta Hatya, that is killing of the animals. So one is that gross level of killing of animals we avoid, that we do not eat like in non-vegetarian stuffs and all. But it is said that whether we want it or we do not want it, but every day we are committing 5 types of sin daily, unintentional, and we may not even notice also 5 types of sin, that Panch Suna sin, that 5 types of sins we are committing every day. Every day, or we can say that every hour or every moment sometimes. So what are those 5 types of sin? One is that when we are walking on the street, so there is many small insects are there, ants are there. So when we are walking on the street, it's not that we are noticing, that we are just walking and the small insects will come under our feet and it will die. Like early in the morning when the devotees are chanting, so many ants get delivered. Because we may not notice also, and we may put our foot on the ant. And it's not like intentional, no one is doing it intentionally. But like the small creatures like ants and all other small insects may get killed. That is one thing happens. Second is that when we are igniting fire, at that time as we ignite fire, so there are like small microbes are there, which we are not able to see with our eyes. But actually what happens, those small microbes also, insects also, they get killed. Now, when we are keeping water, like when we put this glass of water from this place to that place, then also there is something will be lying here. We will not be able to see with our eyes. When we are shifting the water container from one place to another place, then that time also what we are doing, we are committing sins. And then like especially in traditional Indian homes, we use like pestle and mortar, that musal which we call. So like people like especially the ladies use that pestle they use, and they will like use that pestle to grind this all these spices and all. That time also small insects and all, it gets killed when we are using pestle and mortar. We may not see, but it gets killed. Other is the other like sin we commit is that when we are breathing, when we are like breathing, taking our oxygen, then also small insects and all, they get killed. So like sometimes you might notice that when we are like some places there, especially in the rainy season, that small insects are there. When we breathe, so sometimes the small insects may get inside our nose also. Sometimes, unfortunately, it happens. So these are the sins we commit, and can we live without it? Like, can we say that no, today from today onwards we will stop walking, today onwards we will stop cooking, we will not ignite fire, we will stop drinking, we will stop breathing, we will not use any other things or other things for our like cooking food or other things. Can we ever do so? That is impossible. So there like one sect is there, that Jain is there. So they will cover their mouth till their nose. They will cover their mouth, and they even do not take bath. They will take a sponge bath. Like I don't know in the summer season how they manage it, but they will take a small sponge bath. They will put something like sponges. They put, and they will just somehow or the other wash their body, because they do not want to use water. Because if they use water, then the other insects, as we study, that they will get killed. But how much that can be avoided? Can they stop breathing? It is impossible. Can they stop walking? That is impossible. That is not possible. So that is why in the Vedic age, it was said that everyone has to do this Panchasuna Yajna daily. That was recommended that everyone has to do Panchasuna Yajna. Otherwise, we have to suffer for it. That this sins, whether it is unnoticeable, untraceable, imperceptible, but we have to suffer for this. So that yajna has to be performed if we have to free ourselves from these sinful activities or sinful things which we are doing unintentionally. And like one pastime is there from the life of Lord Ram, that we know that Ram Raj, we might have like everyone wants to come to a stage where they can have Ram Raj in India, all over the world. So during the reign of Lord Ram, so there was no suffering, everyone was enjoying, there was justice everywhere, no one was killing anyone, no one was harming anyone. So once Lord Ram was there in the assembly, and he called his younger brother Lakshman, and he asked him to go out and see that if anyone has come for seeking any justice. So Lakshman, he went out, and when he went out, then he saw that he called the people, that is there anyone who has come to seek justice? Then he found that no one came forward. So he came back to Lord Ram and said that no one is there in your kingdom who can be unhappy and who can suffer anything in your kingdom. But still Lord Ram said that no, you go and check very nicely that is there anyone who has come for justice. Then anyway Lord Ram said, so Lakshman, he went outside. He did not find any people there, but he saw a dog, and that dog was looking towards Lakshman. Then Lakshman thought that maybe, why, I don't know why this dog is here. Then he asked from the dog that why you are here. Then the dog said that I am suffering and someone has committed a crime against me. So I come here to seek justice from Lord Ram. So anyway, so when Lord Ram came to know about this, then that dog was brought inside. And Lord Ram actually asked that what actually has happened to you, that what justice you want. And then they saw that the dog's skull was broken and the blood was coming from the skull of the dog. So Lord Ram asked that what actually has happened to you. Then he said that there is a Brahmana, so his name is Sarvarth Siddhi. So that Brahmana, what he has done, so he has hit me hard today, and because of that my skull has broken. So that Brahmana was immediately called. So that Brahmana came. And Lord Ram asked that why you have committed this crime. Then the Brahmana, he started regretting for the crime he committed. And he said that actually what had happened, that I was going to beg alms, and I was getting very late, and the auspicious time to beg alms was passing by. So, and I had not got anything, so I became like angry. I got overcome by anger, and in that anger only, I have hit the dog. So I know that I have committed the mistake. So whatever punishment you want to give it to me, so I am fine. I am ready to get that punishment. So Lord Ram consulted everyone. All the sages were there. All the other senior members in the assembly were there. So everyone said that you cannot give punishment to a Brahmana. You cannot hang him. You cannot be like kill the Brahmana and all. So they were thinking that what kind of punishment has to be given. So then the dog spoke. The dog said that actually I want that this Brahmana, he should be made a Kulpati of Kalanjara Mutt. He should be made the Kulpati. Kulpati, I think it means vice chancellor, right, in English. Kulpati of the Kalanjara Mutt, he should be made. And the Lord Ram said that, okay, fine. As per your wish, he is going to be made the Kulpati of this matter. So everyone was surprised that it is not a punishment. It is like a boon, a benediction which has been given to him. He committed such a great sin, he has been given a boon. So only Lord Ram knew the truth and the dog knew the truth. And Lord Ram was also smiling and Lord Ram understood. But Lord Ram wanted to hear from the dog. Then the dog said that, in my previous life, I was the Kulpati of that Kalanjara Mutt. And when I was the Kulpati, so I was a very honest and decent person. I was very self-controlled, I was very tolerant, and I was very nicely taking care of each and every person in that matter. I was equal to everyone, I did not commit any sin and all, I did not commit any mistake. And very nicely I was taking care, but in spite of that, I got this dog body. Now you just see this Brahmana is always overcome by anger. He is a foolish person. Other than that, he is very harsh. He is very rude in his behavior. So if this person is given such a big position, then what kind of sin he is going to commit? And what kind of next destination he is going to get? So in fact that he is going to suffer more. He is going to suffer more than me. So now this pastime I wanted to share that the previous Kulpati of Kalanjara Mutt, he did his best, but he became a dog. Similarly, King Nriga, he did his best, but he became a lizard. So in this material world, no matter how best we try to do our fruitive activities, but the end result is that we have to suffer in one way or the other. Because maybe he was the nice Kulpati, but someone had become displeased by whatever the decision he might have taken. They were displeased, they were unhappy with him. Someone might have cursed him. Like we discussed unintentional mistakes, so he might have committed many unintentional mistakes also. That is why he had to suffer. So if we try to analyze this material world, so we find that in this material world, as long as the soul wants to enjoy in this material world, the soul is humiliated again and again. Again and again the soul is humiliated in this material world. Because like suppose that today there is no king, suppose there is some a prime minister is there, and a prime minister commits some mistake and he is given a punishment by the Supreme Court that for one day or for a 1 week you have to wear the costume of a dog and you will be put in the middle of a street and a rope will be tied around your neck and you will have to behave like a dog and you have to lead the life of a dog. And if that is done to a person who is respectable, because what Krishna says in Gita to Arjun, that a person who has been honored, for him dishonor is worse than death. So a king, Nriga, who was the king, it was a dishonor for him, right? He became a lizard, a very abominable being, he became a lizard. That Kulpati, he was a Kulpati, he was respected, people would pay him obeisance and all, and he became a dog. So similarly, a person like is humiliated again and again in this material world. And a person is humiliated, then person has to go through all pain, he or she has to go through like so much suffering, so much lamentation is there. Like we see that in this body of lizard, when King Nriga is there, so he is able to remember his past life. So in past life he is in a dark well, as a lizard he is in a dark well, and as a king he was staying in a palatial bungalow. His servants were there to take care of him, but he is just in a dark well. Low lighting is also there. And what he is eating there, he might be eating all kind of delicious foodstuffs. So many servants will be there to serve him. But here he will be just eating as a lizard. I think they will eat. He will eat like insects or something like that. He will eat. Another thing is that he will also remember that how kind of, what kind of a very great life, very wonderful life he was leading as a king. But now he has been like leading such a very abominable life. Like and this that kind of lamentation is always there in a person's heart. Like if we go to any old age home, so we find that in the old age home, like if some NGO is there, government is there, so they may provide all the facility to the old people. The person will get all the food, all the nice shelter will be there, like people will be there to take care of them, medicine will be there, everything will be there, but the people are very frustrated in the old age home. Because the feeling of betrayal, that their children betrayed him, or the feeling that earlier how happily they were living in the house, but they have been pushed into the old age home. So that feeling, that betrayal, that lamentation, so that again and again that makes a person to suffer again and again. Those people are always internally crying, and they are always going through these emotional pains. So now we talk about the family member, that wife is there, children is there, everyone is going to take care of a person and all. So we said, no, the wife is there, the life partner. The wife is going to be with the person throughout the life. But we see the case of Nriga. The wife is there a life partner, but she did not become a lizard partner for King Nriga. He was suffering all alone. No one was there. No children was there, no minister was there, no servant was there. He did so many pious activity. No people was there that you gave me so much donation and all. So I am here for you. I am going to be with you when you are lizard. No one was there. He was like suffering all alone. So for us also it is like that. Whatever karma we are going to do, so we have to suffer on our own. It's not that anyone is going to come and share our karma with us. For whatever crime, whatever sin, whatever mistakes we are going to do, we have to suffer on our own. And when we are suffering, so one level of suffering is the physical pain, and the other level of suffering is the emotional pain. So it is said that the emotional pain is much more severe and much more painful than the physical pain. So it is difficult to understand that generally that how much pain can be in emotional pain. So just to make understand, like it is explained that sometimes, like suppose that our finger is there, on the top of the finger nail is there. So someone suppose that holds ourselves tightly, and they pick some sharp object and they try to pluck our nail from our thumb, suppose that. Then how much pain are we going to feel? Even just by thinking it, we feel painful, if we just try to think it. So if actually it is being done to us, we can understand how much painful it will be. So that is the emotional pain a person undergoes through when a person is suffering. So that is the internal pain, so much pain a person has to go through in this world. So it is always like pain giving. This world is again and again, this world will keep on giving pain. Until when we have to go through this pain? Till the time we think that we can enjoy in this material world. Till the time we have material consciousness. Till the time we feel that we are going to derive some happiness from this material world. Till those moments, till that time, we are going to suffer in this world. Because whatever the so-called like name, fame, like there are different types of happiness we try to enjoy in this world. One is that gross happiness. The gross happiness we get from all those sense gratification, that maybe nice food is there, or some opposite sex attraction is there. Those kind of gross happiness we may try to get. And those are frustrating, we know. But beyond that, there is like subtle level of happiness which people like try to get from name, fame, glory. Some person is like glorifying us. That is a great, like a great desire for every one of us. That someone should appreciate us, glorify us, think that he is a great person. Somehow or the other, we have this thought process. So again and again, we have this thought process. But that we may get some power, position, prestige, name, fame, but it will remain just for a short period of time. So there was one person. So every day he used to go to a tea stall and he used to take tea. Almost daily it had become his routine. Maybe for few weeks, few months he was going. So one day there were some people on the tea stall, and he saw that person is there sitting and taking tea. And the person who had come there, he found out that several years back, that person who is coming to drink tea there, he was once the chief minister of that state. And people had actually forgotten him. No one knew that he was the chief minister, and he was coming, and like when a person is chief minister, so many followers are there, security guard is there, like all this VIP like treatment is there. But he was just simply coming, walking there on tea stall. He was like drinking tea, and no one noticed also. So that is this name, fame, all those things just remain just for a short period of time. King Riga also, this he was king just for a short period of time, and he again became a lizard. There might be many dogs in the street. Who knows? They might be a big king in the previous life. We don't know also. They may be king, prime minister, president, some like Mr. World, Mrs. World. So those they may be there. So we do not know. So this is how this world is. That suffering is there. So now if we, what is the solution for all this thing? So we have to like understand what like great Acharya pure devotee says. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says it very aptly, and what he says that this is not the place for a gentleman to live. He very clearly says, just in one line, this is not a place for a gentleman to live in this world. So this consciousness we have to develop, that if you want to lead a very gentle, manly life, if you want to lead a nice life, then we have to get out of this material world, and especially at our stage, we have to free ourselves from this material consciousness. So this is the lesson which the pure devotees are teaching us, and we have to follow their footsteps. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as Krishna, then he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he did not give any false hope. He did not say that no, by chanting the name of Krishna, by following Krishna consciousness, you are going to become very rich, you are going to become very famous, you are going to get big house, you are going to get this or that. He did not say. He said, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. He very clearly says, you are not going, never even desire for any wealth, never desire for any beautiful women, never desire for post, position, power. You should give up all these kind of desires. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And when Prabhupada also went to the Western country, so he did not give any false hope to anyone. He did not say that when he met this Amrish Prabhu, so he could have praised him very nicely. Oh, you are the great grandson of Henry Ford, such a nice person you are, your great grandfather was such a great person. He simply asked that, where is your great grandfather? Just a simple question, and that simple question he transformed his heart. He understood that what actually the true constitutional position of a soul is. So this understanding we also have to cultivate if you want to free ourselves. And I think all these pastimes when Vyasadeva is writing, when Krishna is giving, just to teach us this lesson, that in King Nirga's pastime also, that not pastime, sorry, not the incident, we can say, that when we are having this fruity mentality, then end result is not never good, not always, it is never good. So we have to free ourselves. But instead of that, what we have to do, we have to take shelter of Krishna, we have to surrender to Krishna. Because when we take shelter of Krishna, when we surrender to Krishna, then that is the only solution to attain freedom from all suffering. So now in today's verse, when we are reading, so when the king is saying that I do not know that how fortunate I am that I am able to see you. Yesterday when Jivanand Prabhu was explaining, then he was explaining very nicely that there was only one good thing, one great thing which the king had done, that he had served a devotee. He had served a devotee in constructing the temple of Krishna. He had served the devotee in arranging for the copies of Srimad Bhagvatam, Bhagavad Gita and all. So only for that one spiritual activity that he had served a Vaishnava, that he got an opportunity to see Lord Krishna. He also got an opportunity that although he was having the body of a lizard, but in spite of that, he was able to remember Krishna. So that only because he had served the devotees. And so when we take shelter of Krishna, then no matter what kind of suffering may be there, we will be able to overcome those suffering. Like Acharya Prabhu was explaining in the previous class, that he was comparing the life of King Riga with Amrish Maharaj. That Amrish Maharaj, he also went through those kind of suffering only, that Durvasa Muni became angry on him. But Amrish Maharaj, what he did, he took shelter of Krishna. The other pastime we read again of Durvasa Muni, that when this Pandavas, when they were in the forest, so that time what happened, that Duryodhana, he wanted that somehow or the other Durvasa Muni should become upset with the Pandavas and he should curse them. So he sent Durvasa Muni that they should have lunch at the place where Pandavas are staying. So when Durvasa Muni came with 60,000 followers, So that time when he came, and he came almost after the lunch time. So this is how Durvasa Muni is. And he wanted that lunch should be arranged for him and his disciples. And Draupadi, she had also finished her lunch, because the Akshay Patra bowl were what they had got. So it was that as soon as Draupadi will take the final food, Draupadi will take the food, then the food will stop coming from Akshay Patra. So Draupadi did not know what to do. So at that time, what she did? She just took shelter of Krishna. He called the name of Krishna, and Krishna appeared. So they could have also been like subjected to curse from Durvasa Muni. But she took shelter of Krishna, and Krishna just came. Immediately Krishna appeared. He just took a morsel of grain, and immediately everyone got satisfied. Because when Krishna is satisfied, everyone gets satisfied. This is how Krishna satisfied everyone. Krishna saved Draupadi. Krishna saved all the Pandavas. And when we discuss about the Panchasuna Yagya that we are supposed to perform. But in this Kali Yuga, it is impossible to perform this Panchasuna Yagya, right? Because all this kind of fire sacrifices and all, it is impossible to perform. So Prabhupada says that the only Yagya what we can perform in this world is that this Sankirtan Yagya. So as we are committing this sin daily, all these 5 kinds of sin, so this Sankirtan Yagya should be also performed every day. Without fail, this Sankirtan Yagya has to be performed. If we want to save ourselves, actually the purpose is not saving ourselves from suffering and all, purpose is to actually please Krishna. But as you said, the byproduct come, the side thing come, that side thing, the byproduct is that we also will be saved from all this kind of suffering, all this kind of misery. So that is why Krishna very mercifully in our life, in this age, especially in this age, he has appeared in his holy name. And Krishna personally as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came. And he came to give himself to us. That is why Krishna has come. So that is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is why it is said that Harer Nam Eva Kevalam. So the name of Krishna, it is said that not one of the solutions to the problem, it is not said, it is the only Kevalam, that is the only solution, that is the only thing which can save us in this material world, which can only deliver us from all the sinful activities which we are doing. This holy name of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so this mantra can only free us from the repeated cycle of birth and death. This can only give us liberation, and this can ultimately take us back to the spiritual world, and this can only give us an opportunity to serve Krishna and to serve the devotees of Krishna and to experience unlimited spiritual pleasure. So that is only, those things can be achieved only when we are taking shelter of the holy names of Krishna. So there are great glories in the holy name of Krishna. So right now, we try to experience happiness through material means, like we somehow or the other, because we have been in this material world for millions and millions of lifetimes, so we have been habituated to derive pleasure from the material means. But somehow or other we have to come to a stage that we should start deriving bliss and happiness from spiritual activities. We should come to that stage. So there is a very beautiful verse that is there in 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍. In 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍, in that first verse, it is mentioned that the glory of the holy name of Krishna. So it says that Madhuram Madhurepyo Abhe Api, that the holy name is sweeter than the sweetest thing of this world. In the entire creation, whatever the sweetest thing will be there, so the holy name is sweeter than that. Then the second thing, it is said that Mangalebhyo Api Mangalam, that it is auspicious than the most auspicious thing. Whatever the auspicious thing can be in this world, but the holy name is the most auspicious. And the third quality of the holy name, it is said that Pavanam Pavanebhyo Api, that it is the greatest purifier of all the purifying things. No matter how much karma kanda or each and XYZ activity we may do, but the holy name is the only thing which can completely purify ourselves. So that is the greatness of the holy thing. That is the greatness of the holy name. So now it is mentioned that it is the sweeter than the sweetest thing. So I was hearing one lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj was explaining about this verse. So Maharaj was saying that we are there is holy name is full of nectar, and since we are not qualified to like qualified to get those nectar. This is the reason that continuous nectar we are not experiencing. In bits and pieces, sometimes like during some special occasion, special festival, like Janmashtami, God Purnima, or some senior devotees have come in the association of devotees. So we may experience some little bit of drops of pleasure. But continuous pleasure we are not experiencing. We are not able to perceive or experience that full nectar, because as of now we are not completely qualified. And if we are not qualified, and if Krishna is going to give us the complete nectar, then we will not be able to take it up properly. So he gave just one example. He was saying that in some Western country, one person, he was a very poor person. So since he was poor, he tried all the means, and he was not able to get the riches. He did not become rich person. So the only option he thought that is to buying lottery. He thought that if I'll buy lottery, maybe one day or other day I can get the lottery. I will win the lottery. So he tried for many years, not 1 year, 2 years. He tried for many years, but in spite of that, he was not getting. So, but he kept on buying the lottery. So one fine day, what happened? He heard a knock on his door, and the person came and he said that who bought a lottery of $1 million, and actually you have won the lottery. So you have now got $1 million. You come to our office and collect the check. So when the person saw his name that he has won the $1 million lottery, so he became so much overwhelmed with happiness that he got a heart attack and he died there. So because he was not qualified to attain that $1 million check. So similarly, we are not completely qualified to get all the nectar at once. So Krishna knows that what is best for us. So drop by drop, little drop, then little drop, little bigger, little bigger, little bigger. So he will keep on giving us till the time we become completely qualified to get the nectar of the spiritual ecstasy, the nectar of the holy name of Krishna. So this is what Krishna, the holy name, can give us, and it is giving us. But only thing is that we have come to a stage, where we can actually understand it. Actually, we can realize that. And when we are chanting the holy name of Krishna, then actually Krishna becomes very pleased. So there is one another verse in 𝐂𝐻𝐌𝐌𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐓𝐘. So in that verse, it is the 5th verse of 𝐂𝐻𝐌𝐌𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐓𝐘. So there in that verse it is mentioned that Hari sada vaset tatra yatra bhagavat jana gayantri bhakti bhavena harer naam eva kevalam. So it is said, it is mentioned in this verse that Lord Hari, Lord Krishna, he eternally resides at that place where his name is chanted again and again. Why? Because Krishna is also like a personal experience. Because where Krishna's name is chanted, Krishna also wants to hear that what devotees are talking about him. So there is one, like suppose that we can understand with this example, like suppose that one person is there, his name is, suppose that Prabhu, and he is very busy and he has to go some other place. But as he is walking, he hears that some other place, some person is talking about him. You know that Yogeshwar Prabhu in the night, he did this thing. He is a very this kind of person. So immediately his ears will be drawn towards that person, drawn towards that conversation. And he will like to hear that what others are talking about him. Because that is the nature, because that is the experience, that is the like thing we want. Because that is the personal experience we want, that personal touch we want in our life. And Krishna also, because Krishna is also personal, he also wants that what devotees are talking about him, what devotees are thinking about him, Krishna also wants. So there is one very beautiful story. So there was one great devotee, so he was going, and it started raining heavily. It was raining heavily, or it was mid of the day, I don't remember. But some like outside environment was not very good. So he saw a very small hut was there. So he thought that let me see, I can take shelter inside the hut. So he opened the hut and went inside. So it was very small place was there. So he saw that no one is here. So he was very tired also. So he thought that let me be here for some time till the weather improves outside. So one bed was there. Thought that let me just lie down on the bed. So he just lied down on the bed. So after some time, when he was lying down on the bed, he heard a knock outside. So he just checked that who is outside. So he asked that who is there. The person said that I am here, just want to come inside. So is there a place for me to come inside? So the devotee who was there inside the hut, he said that, no, actually it's a very small place. So it is only a place where a single person can lie down. So the person who was outside, he said that if one person can lie down inside, means two person can sit also. So let me come inside. So it is the person, he was a devotee, so he said it is very true, two person can sit here. So he allowed the other person to come. So now he was lying down, now two person was sitting. So now that person was also a devotee. So what happens when two devotees come together? They will discuss about Krishna. Nothing like they will not discuss. They will not discuss that what political party win the election, who won the cricket game, which movie released, or what happened here and there. They will only discuss about Krishna. So they started discussing about Krishna. Then again after some time there was knock on the door. Then the third person was there. Then they asked the third person and said that this place is very small. Only two of us are sitting here. And the person who was outside, he said that if two person can sit together, means three person can stand together. So let me also come inside. So the third person also came, and the third person also was a great devotee. So all the third person, they started discussing Krishna Katha. So when these three devotees were discussing about Krishna, then as they were discussing, they found that they were getting little squeezed inside. It looked that some fourth person is also entered, and he also is trying to somehow or other to make a place for himself there. So now who was the fourth person? He was Krishna, because the devotees was glorifying Krishna, devotees were talking about Krishna. So actually Krishna wanted to hear what devotees are talking about him. So when actually we are discussing Krishna Katha with pure heart, without any ulterior motive, with a desire to please Krishna, then what actually happens? That Krishna personally comes, Krishna personally is there. That is why it is said that when we are chanting the names of Krishna, then Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani, they dances on our tongue. So that is how, because they also enjoy, like they also become very pleased with our like devotional service. So this is how, if you want to free ourselves from all this kind of suffering. So more than freeing ourselves from the suffering, the most important thing is that our desire, our motive should be to please Krishna, to serve Krishna, to glorify Krishna again and again. And from Nirga's life, I understand that no matter we may be here in the hell, we may be lizard, or we may be in the heaven, ultimate end result is suffering. But if we are like the great devotees, if we take shelter of Krishna, then in all situations, all circumstances, we are going to be protected, and we will be enjoying pleasure in the company of Krishna each and every moment. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शीला प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा. हरे कृष्णा. शीला प्रभुपाद की जय.